Monday in the Bank makes its way towards Money in the Bank. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. Today we are going to review Monday Night Raw from May the 26th, streaming to you live from Netflix. But as always, thank you guys for joining us for the podcast. I'm Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill and Mr. T. Reese. And guys, we are going to break down Monday Night Raw. As always, smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. So, guys, let's get right into it. The show opened up proper with Seth Rollins and his new group coming to the ring. And this was kind of an introductory sort of segment where Paul Heyman kind of reintroduced everyone to the team. And it was really kind of a chance for everyone to gain a bit of understanding as to why Bronson Reed joined their crew. So, overall, what did you guys think of the segment and the way everything kind of went down? And let's discuss.
Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, it got the job done. I mean, the big part here was obviously why is Bronson Reed teaming up with I didn't put my finger up, so I feel like I'm being targeted here. But what Bronson Reed joined after the series he had with attacking Rollins earlier this year didn't really make a whole lot of sense without some sort of explanation. Um, I think that it's all right. I'm all right with it. And I think that as long as for now they're just used as enforcers to most likely put Rollins winning the Money in the Bank briefcase over, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I didn't understand. They've been having this. They've been doing this a lot lately. Of us just kind of ending the storyline. We don't get an ending to it. I mean, recently Julia and Roxanne. We don't know ending the reason why they were doing what they're doing. Same thing with Bronson. But all right, if they want us to buy in that Seth has respect for him now, so be it then. But I mean, he's a fine addition. He seemed a little awkward in the ring because I don't think he's usually really used to being in that spot because he just kept nodding, doing this, and I'm like, okay, bro, relax a little bit. Just stand like Braun and just stare at everybody. That's what you should do. Just don't even react to anything he's saying. But overall, it was fine. We needed them to explain it anyway. I think we got an explanation for something in WWE, so I'm fine with it. It was a good opening.
Yeah, Seth Rollins had made mention, obviously, that the main event he was going to be in for a Money in the Bank qualifier. And then the whole idea of the segment was that, having the briefcase gives him the power to kind of go after whichever champion he wants to go after. I mean, obvious, at least for the rest of the year, right? It's not going to be John Cena that he's going to go after. It's kind of abundantly clear that, that's kind of wrapped up in its own story. So, it certainly seems like Jay is the target for right now. And, as we kind of make our way through the show, we'll talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, overall, the first match opened up hot with Penta versus Chad Gable versus Dragon Lee. This was interesting because of the way that they announced that Chad Gable was going to be having a match at the AAA Worlds Collide show a little bit earlier, which is this happens to be the same day as Money in the Bank. So it kind of spoiled a little bit that Chad Gable was obviously not going to be winning this match. And then similarly, there's no chance Dragon Lee was winning. So by default, Penta kind of had to win. I mean, either way, I felt it was an excellent match. There was one scary spot where Gable kind of landed on his neck a little bit off of a pile driver. But overall, it was a great way to start the show and, one of many good matches that were on the show. What did you guys think?
Well, the only thing I didn't understand is this going to be like the main event for that show?
So I have something to say about that in a second.
Like, is Gable fighting
Vikingo?
Vikingo? Is that like the main event? Because that's all they're advertising.
So
yes, I think because it's for the title.
Spoiler alert.
The title that hasn't come off of him yet. But we go ahead, Sean.
The spoiler alert that Bertie Alberto Del Rio, the title he still has that is going to somehow be for Vikingo versus Gable, is going to be that match, is going to be for that title.
Let me just say this. I knew Sean was I was about to get to that, but Sean was so giddy to get to that.
You know what? Screw you, T.
There you go.
There's a show next weekend on Sunday for the AAA, and it's Vikingo versus Alberto Del Rio for their whatever their top title is called. So in the US, it's already been shown that on that graphic that it's going to be, for the title against Chad Gable. But in Mexico, that's blocked off right now. So I think they're just trying to like have WWE get their own guys now that they own that promotion. They're trying to have their own guys kind of be the ones who are carrying the belts and like the ones that they're comfortable with. I have a feeling that Alberto Del Rio is going to be let go like real soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think his days are numbered.
John?
The smart play is for them to let go of him. It's not like they have any use for him. It's okay. Get my opinion out there. As long as that's okay with you, T.
So what did you think of this match, John?
I think the match itself was fantastic, and for once they had the right Mexican guy win. Unlike over on SmackDown, where they keep burying the people that they just brought in, at least their Raw booking of Penta is doing it correctly. I mean, the guy has 100% booked the way that a new superstar should be booked. I don't know why they have such a hard time figuring that out on the SmackDown side of things when you should be booking Phoenix almost the exact same way you're booking Penta. Like it blows my mind that you can have a match of this caliber with the correct ending, yet flub it so badly on the other side of things.
Yeah, it was a good match. I mean, even though somebody was it Chad Gable took a nasty spill on the bomber,
Yeah.
the Mexican destroyer. I mean, he kind of landed on his neck. I'm wondering if the WWE may go back to, no more power drivers and stuff like that due to that. He didn't get hurt from it, thank goodness. But I got a feeling that it may come back if this keeps up. Another thing that I wanted to point out too was the fact that WWE has now come out and said, because during this match there was a lot of cheers, all kinds of stuff was being said. A lot of WWE, I guess, is going to start, trying to dampening out the crowd from the show now, so you won't be able to hear some of the so you can't really hear some of the colorful statements that are being chanted by the crowd. They announced that today,
which is interesting because it's on Netflix. You kind of think you should be able to do whatever you want, but to your point, during the opening segment, the crowd was chanting "F you Rollins, F you Rollins," and they were censoring it, and that was odd. Like that was really, really odd. Unless it was being like simulcast somewhere else for whatever reason, and they were just like broadly doing it, but that was kind of strange because we were kind of led to believe that like with Netflix, the product was moving to a PG-13 where that's allowed. But
yeah, that's what I thought. But apparently, somebody's not happy. Maybe TKO is not happy. That's one reason I brought it up now because that's primarily the spot that I guess was used as the example to try to they're not going to try to tell the crowd. Obviously, they can't tell the crowd what they can and cannot say. But apparently they're going to go ahead and I guess, edit out the crowd, I guess, somehow, some way. I don't know if they're going to wait till a chant happens or if it's going to be an all show thing where you can't hear what's being said. But the crowd pop is what makes the show.
Yeah.
So regardless of what they say, I don't understand why they're even worried about it. I mean, you can bleep it. I mean, if you're there at the arena, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything when you're at the arena. So what's the difference on TV?
If they censor the crowd, it's going to take away from the immersion. That seems like a stupid idea to me. Like part of the fun and part of the thing that we've talked about several times here is when you have a good crowd, how much better it makes the product. And if you're going to censor that, that's a stupid idea. And if that's somebody at TKO who is having that idea, they need to seriously reconsider that.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, this was a great match and the right person won it. Like it should have been. That destroyer was so sweet. Even though Gable landed on his neck, but I mean, he pulled that off so smooth. And I mean, it was a great match. I thought you had three good wrestlers in this, and these are three guys who I would have had no problem joining the Money in the Bank competition. So any one of these three, I would have been fine with.
Yeah. Any of them would have been a good addition. They're all athletic. They all have the skills to take part in a ladder match. I think the only reason there was that slip up on that Mexican Destroyer is because there was so much going on. Because wasn't Dragon Lee trying to do something at the same time?
I don't recall that. I know he did a move and then got
Yeah,
knocked out the way, and then that's when Penta came in and did the Mexican Destroyer. I think it just went faster than Gable expected. He didn't really get
yeah.
to brace himself. Usually, they grab a hold of the thigh, I guess, to kind of hold your head up, and it doesn't look like he even caught the thigh. His hands went underneath, it looked like, and he landed on his neck wrong.
And of course,
Yeah.
he got busted open from that kick from Vikingo too. So
And he could very well have had a concussion for all we know.
yeah,
So backstage, we noted that Liv Morgan returned. She walked in on Roxanne Perez, offering Dom chicken nuggets and a shoulder rub. Then she made note that she was going to address that later. She did say she was going to go talk to Adam Pearce about getting a Money in the Bank qualifying match. As we went back to the ring, we noted that Rusev was already in the ring with Akira Tozawa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was really kind of a nothing match. Rusev destroyed him, obviously as he should have. But it led to a Sheamus, wild Sheamus coming out to have this stare down with Rusev. And this looks like it's going to be Rusev's first program. So what did we think of this overall and where we go from here?
going to be a banger of a match, as they like to say when it comes to Sheamus. Two guys this hard hitting, and I think I'm not sure I could think of a better person to, if you want to put Rusev with somebody who's relatively well established, who's not doing anything. Sheamus is the perfect person. I mean, you want a hard hitting match. That's what you get out of Sheamus. And as long as they do the correct thing here and make sure to have Rusev go over and not have it end in stupid shenanigans for all their matches, it's a good thing for this.
And plus, I mean, we've seen these two fight before in the past. So, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen them two in the ring. So I'm looking forward to it. But you're right. This is going to be a crazy, all kinds of people getting tossed around the ring type match. Obviously, I don't know if they're going to make a series out of it. I can probably see them making like a little series out of it. They'll probably wrestle 3 times, I would imagine, before SummerSlam. I wouldn't be surprised in the event that this is one of the matches in SummerSlam.
Some sort of gimmick match.
No, I don't even know if it's a gimmick matchup, but I think it's WWE likes to take two guys like this, similar guys, and just make a series out of them. Neither one of them have anything going right now, so you might as well let them ride each other out all the way. It'll be the new McIntyre versus
Priest.
yeah, versus Priest. This is what it's going to take over. They're going to be fighting the crowd, fighting backstage. It's going to happen all the way up to SummerSlam.
The story writes itself too. I mean, they're former friends, they're former enemies. I mean, when they were part of the League of Nations together, there's plenty of ways that they can take this storyline to not screw it up.
Mm-hmm. And I can tell you right now, they're not going to fight next week. They'll be in the ring talking. Following week, they may have a tag match or something like that. They're going to ride this storyline out. And it's probably a good one until they can figure out what they're going to do with Rusev.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, I didn't like that Rusev got out of the ring and walked away. Like he should have just, had a stare down, and that's how the segment should have ended. But it is what it is. I'm not overly bothered by it. I guess it was fine. We then had New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Wood coming out to the ring, dressed like the Giant Gonzalez. That was interesting. Definitely interesting attire choice there. They were then met by the Creed brothers and the War Raiders for a tag team match for the tag team championships, and this was set to be kind of a 3-way sort of tag team match. The New Day obviously did pick up the win as they were kind of working together with the Creed brothers in the beginning of the match to kind of go over the War Raiders a little bit. But there was a really nice sequence of a hot tag spot to Ivar where he came in and was just kind of tossing everybody around. The crowd was definitely more into this match than they were into most, considering the Raw tag team division is particularly weak right now. But overall, I mean, this was fine, I guess. What did you guys think of the match?
I don't know if the crowd was, I mean, just from what I heard, it didn't sound like anybody really cared. I think there were some spots people cheered for, but again, I think everybody feels the same way we do. They only got 3 tag teams there, and this is all you're going to see. It's just them on repeat. They got to do something with this tag team division on Raw because, I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. New Day, again, don't take them serious for anything. Creed brothers are that dumb. I mean, What are we doing? Like I said, these three in matches, every time they wrestle, it seems like a gimmick match every single time. So I mean, they needed to fill a spot on Raw. I had no problems with it. It was an okay match. It wasn't the greatest match I've ever seen. Just a lot of people being thrown into the barriers. But I mean, outside of that, it was a fine match. But I mean, it's an example of WWE ruining not knowing what to do with the tag team belts on Raw.
They desperately need to call somebody up or something because at this point, this is just another. Every week, it's basically the same match, even if it's a one-on-one tag match or if it's a three-way. It's some variation of the same thing every week. We need some new blood in this division. We need somebody who can be a legit contender to the New Day. Because as of right now, who's going to take that title off of them?
Oh, that's
Nobody.
very easy. Braun and Bronson are going to take that title.
Yeah, once they have them actually working as a tag team and in tag team matches, yes. But as far as the actual tag team division itself, this very moment goes, there isn't a team, and
But
it'll be
that's
nice once.
but that's where they're going with that though, like because eventually that group is going to hold all of the gold. They're like literally positioning themselves as Bloodline 2.0. So I think as soon as they get their hands on those belts, it will immediately give them like give those belts the credibility that they need. I think
Well,
because this group is literally trying to set itself up as like the new like villain boss group, like what the Bloodline was initially when Roman Reigns was in charge of it. And I think like we're gonna be telling ourselves a story over like an extended period of time when whoever ends up being the ultimate good guy who overcomes Seth Rollins at next year's WrestleMania or even the WrestleMania after that. You know what I mean? I have a feeling they're gonna go a long time with this story.
the sooner it happens with the tag belts, the better, though, for everybody involved.
Oh yeah, I mean we've been we've been asked for months about what's the plan with the tag belts on Raw, and we haven't got an answer yet. So, I mean, even if you take some people who haven't been on camera and you make a tag team out of them, do something to add more teams to this division to give us something different to watch. Because right now it's just every week it's either the War Raiders versus New Day, the Creed Brothers versus the War Raiders, Creed New Day versus the Creed Brothers. It's just on repeat, and it's not making very good TV right now.
Exactly.
So before Jey Uso who came to the ring, and I had to fast forward quite a bit to get through all of Jey Uso's entrance as per usual. But before he could kind of really address his Money in the Bank match with Cody Rhodes, he was quickly interrupted by Gunther, and Gunther was relatively calm and relatively, smug in a way, and just, reiterated that Jey, is not, he's a great human being, but he's not a good champion because he fights for his friends and he fights for the people who protect him. And Jey kind of made this into like a strength for himself. And yeah, it seems like we're back in March with this one. Like we're just right back to where we were before WrestleMania. I don't really have much to say with this. I think Jey and Gunther need to be done, and they both need to like not feud with each other anymore. Jey seems like he has a lot of other stuff going on right now, and I don't really think that this whole thing is necessary. We need something else for Gunther.
Yeah,
it's a perfect example of wash and repeat. I mean, this is all they're doing. They're just still. We said this on the last time we talked. They're just no storylines have ended from WrestleMania. They're just still riding them all out, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't. I think the John Cena thing is kind of threw a wrench into things this year. I don't think they really planned on John Cena being the champ like this or bringing him in like this. I think The Rock had a lot to do with that. I just think they're in disarray. Ever since WrestleMania, they're in disarray. I just don't think they have any plans because they were throwing that wrench at WrestleMania.
it almost feels like they're in a holding pattern. And this is something you normally see later on in the year, and to see this soon after WrestleMania is extremely rare. They need to get past this title match, get Gunther into either his Logan Paul or his Goldberg program, and just anything to move him away from this title scene and just figure out their storylines. I mean, give us who's going to be our next contender for Jey after this tag match. Like we don't I mean, outside of Gunther, we don't have any feasible people other than Seth Rollins once he actually. But I mean, that's going to hinge on the Money at the Bank thing.
Well, that's what you're going to have to do. I mean, you're going to have to. I don't think. I mean, they haven't announced this match to happen at Money in the Bank yet, did they?
Which one?
Gunther and Jay.
No, it's
No, that's
happening
after Money at the
on
Bank.
Raw after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not. They're not going to. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to fight. This is the Goldberg entrance.
So Goldberg interferes in that match after Mania or after Money in the Bank. I mean,
it's already on record. He's interviewed and he said he's already ramped up and he's ready to go. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that interferes in the match and it gets them all the way to. Well, I don't know if it's going to get them to SummerSlam. Probably the next PLE, I guess.
Which is a Saudi show. It's actually actually
some of his interviews.
He said that that's probably what's going to happen.
He said that his retirement match is going to come in the South in front of everybody. So, like, some of the stuff he's been saying in his interviews doesn't make sense with what we think the timeline is going to be.
Well, where are we? You know what? I take it back. I heard them mention Atlanta.
Yeah.
When are they going to Atlanta?
Atlanta is a Saturday night main event, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I know Atlanta was the place mentioned.
I think the next Saturday night main event, it's the weekend of Evolution. I thought that was the one that was in Georgia, which it kind of feels weird to me if they're going to have Goldberg's retirement match on a Saturday night main event.
Well, they said it wasn't going to be on a big show. It was going to be one of the lesser PLEs.
So then maybe that makes sense. Have that as your main event on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could if it's going to be on Saturday main event.
I don't. That's a bit early. It's a bit early though. That's like in like a month and a half. It's July.
It's July, right?
Yeah, it's July. It's not a month.
Early July though.
Yeah, that's perfect timeline for Goldberg.
Yeah, you give him a month to build up. I mean, you have him interfere during that Jay Gunther match. That's basically a month of build up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weekend after Night of Champions.
Yeah, so that's the show that is rumored, and from the way he was talking to people, the show he's going to show up. He's going to be on for his retirement match. So I can see it. He's going to interfere in a match, or Gunther's going to try and do something to Jay. I don't know, get frustrated with him, get a chair or something. Goldberg is going to come out and save him, and that's going to start the feud between them two. And at that point, Mike, is when you say, "All right, Gunther, enough's enough. We're going to move you on to something else."
Yeah.
They would have to move, but they would have to move him to SmackDown for that.
Well, they might. There's eventually going to be a draft, so hopefully
we still haven't heard nothing about that.
I think it's going to be in like September.
That's late.
They've done it that late a couple times.
No, I mean it's late for what's going on with WWE right now. They need to make this up before the end of the year. I thought they would have done it already.
The problem is the pay-per-view schedule, though, doesn't really lighten up until the fall, right? Mm-hmm. Like over the course of like the next, the rest of the summer, basically, you've got Night of Champions, Saturday night's main event, Evolution, SummerSlam, Clash in Paris, and 5 more shows over the course of the next 3 months. I think. Is that everything?
And Money at the Bank still.
And Money in the Bank and the Worlds Collide show. So Worlds Collide, Money in the Bank, and then you've got 3 weeks until Night of Champions, 2 weeks Saturday night's main event, 1 day Evolution, 3 weeks SummerSlam, 3 weeks Clash in Paris. But after Clash in Paris, which is August 31st, you have nothing until October 11th, and then nothing again until Survivor Series, and that's it.
Well, so that's even more of a reason why I thought the draft usually happens like shortly after WrestleMania, like a month or two after WrestleMania. They usually kind of shake it up after Mania because they're changing the storylines, and I think that's kind of what's hindering them this year is that they haven't done a draft yet.
I think it's going to happen after SummerSlam.
I figured like September. I figured this was going to be one of those later years.
They'll probably. I gotta think they're gonna have a hard reset on a lot of storylines after SummerSlam.
Yeah, they should have just did a hard, draft right after Mania's to clear up the mess that was coming out of it.
Well, they should have, but as we saw at WrestleMania, they didn't finish like half of the damn stories that they were telling. So normally
That's the
WrestleMania is
problem.
supposed to be when all of the stories end, but like, did any stories end at WrestleMania? Because it doesn't really seem like it.
Nope. Nope. We're still looking at matches that they had at Mania.
Yeah. So, um, getting back to Raw. So, as a part of the backstage confrontation with Liv Morgan, she did run into Kairi Sane, which led to an impromptu match between the two. Um, we yeah, with that happening, obviously, Liv Morgan, and Kairi Sane had that match, and it kind of went relatively quick. Kairi did pick up the win due to some interference from Roxanne, and then Raquel, who was on the outside, kind of arguing with Roxanne, who seemed like she was trying to help Liv get the win by pushing Kairi off of the top ropes, but ultimately led to Kairi getting the win. Kind of a quick win there, but overall solid match.
Yeah, it was it was definitely a solid match. I didn't understand the whole confusion. I mean, Roxanne was helping her, so I didn't understand that part where she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, literally doing what you do every match. You know what I mean? But we'll see where this goes. I can see where. I mean, obviously Finn Balor put her up to this. He's gonna interfere in that. Liv Morgan, and do you think Dom's gonna jump the bandwagon over to Roxanne?
No.
No.
They're going to tease it, but he's not. That's going to be their point, though. Is Finn is trying to gaslight them all into thinking that. Um,
But we
I
said the
do.
same thing about Rhea, though.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll do the exact same story again. It's really lazy booking to me. And I think it's a better choice to go with the fake out. And I will say though, nice to see Kairi Sane get the win for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect that at all. I did, to be perfectly honest with you. But I mean, it was a good match. I mean, two of them worked well together in the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, they're about the same size. They about the same athleticism. So it was a good match. But again, that Roxanne thing, we'll see where that takes us. But I just hate when they do that, where it's like, oh, I seen what you did, but I'm still going to question it. It's like, what are we doing? But it's fine. It was fun. It was a fun match.
So then we had Lyra Valkyria in the ring to address her upcoming rematch at Money in the Bank with Becky Lynch. So this is the second announced match for Money in the Bank outside of the two ladder matches and the big title or the big non-title match between Cody and Jay and John Cena and Logan Paul. This was great. I love Lyra. I love what they're doing with Lyra. I think pairing her with Becky is smart. They definitely have, really good chemistry together, and I think Lyra got in some really, really good like shots at Becky Lynch here as well. And I'm excited for this match. I think Becky's probably going to take it, but I really I'm very eagerly awaiting. And they did add a special stipulation where if Becky wins, Lyra has to raise her hand, and if Lyra wins, Becky can no longer challenge for said title.
I feel like Becky has to win here, especially after the surprise of her losing her first match there. I think that Becky winning makes the most sense, and it gives Lyra the opportunity to still chase and win that title back, which I think would be good for Lyra's character and her character development. But this segment, it was very good, and Lyra I know we criticized her for a little while before Mania, and as we did with both of these mid card women's titles, but she's definitely coming into her own as this champion.
Yeah, she had a very good promo, and to be honest with you, she's grown quite a bit in that department. But I mean, she hit her with the shot with the I'm going. Becky says I'm going home to my hot husband. She said, "You're a hot husband. You mean the only thing talented about you?" I'm like, I was dying. That was actually a good one, and she delivered it well. But
Yeah, she sounded very natural.
yeah, I mean, it was a good promo. I was perfectly fine with it. I may have to disagree with you a little bit on what you said, Sean, with that you need to put the belt on Becky. You really don't, because you're actually making this belt right now with this storyline. You're boosting it. She doesn't have to win or lose. Even if Becky loses, you still now that belt means something because Becky Lynch just lost to Lyra with it.
But
So
what do you do with Becky?
you can go either way with it. Becky still got the Bailey thing coming up. There's plenty of
She's still
work.
Becky. She's Becky Lynch. You can do anything you
Yeah,
want with her.
there's plenty of work for her out there. But I'm not saying that you don't put the belt on her. But I think it's a win-win either way.
I just think that if you put the belt on Becky, that this continues, right? And
Yeah.
like whether or not you want this to continue or not, I have a feeling that's when Bailey is going to get involved, and that's how it will divulge itself. But moving on, backstage, Karrion Kross stopped Sami Zayn on his way to the ring. Obviously, more mind games there, telling Sami, basically you're never going to win a title, which led obviously to our main event, which was the Money in the Bank qualifier between Sami, Finn, and Seth Rollins. This match was a slobber knocker of a match. They got a good amount of time. There were a lot of big spots. These guys are obviously some of the most significant stars of the last 20 years of WWE, right? Like Balor went for a coup de grace, attempt and then missed, led right into a stomp, and the whole ending sequence was just absolutely fantastic. But I will let you guys kind of give your thoughts on the match and let me know, let us know what you think.
Well, first of all, they got to do something with my boy Karrion. I'm tired of him sitting in corners. Okay, could we do something with him, please? I mean, everyone's begging for them to do something with him, and they just put him in a corner in a hallway somewhere for little segments. The Sami Zayn thing, again, Sami's one of the better, workers in the industry. He doesn't have the physique like most people, but he doesn't need it. The way he carries himself and the way he can play any multiple characters, he can be a heel, he can be a face, he can be anything. He does that well. This was a great match. I mean, this is a match you could have probably put on one of the PLEs.
Oh yeah,
like literally. I mean, you just took a match that you could literally put on a PLE, and it probably would have been the match of the night. I'm just kind of shocked that they did it in this spot, but it was a good show, man. I had fun with it, and Seth pulling it off in the end, with all the debacles and everybody interfering in the ring, that was good.
I mean, hell, we know what we're going to get out of Rollins and Balor in a match, considering as they were the first ever Universal Championship match. So that's going to be a fire match right there. And adding the talent that is Sami Zayn to it is just the guy plays the ultimate underdog very well. Like you said, though, too, can be used in almost any role. And more to Karrion Kross, they have to do something with him. The way they keep interjecting him into things, and you guys know that I'm a huge Karrion Kross fan. I've talked him up for a while. They just need to do something with him. Put him in some sort of feud. Have him help out Rollins somehow. Something. Give him a chance. And you hear the fans. The fans want him. And then of course the ending to the match with Dom inadvertently costing Balor, more so leading into our 6-year long Judgment Day breakup that feels like it's been going on.
So Dom did throw the chair into the ring, but he threw it in a little far, which allowed Rollins to hit the stomp on Balor into the chair for the win, coming right off of a haluva kick sequence from Sami Zayn. So overall, yeah, this match gets top marks from me. And I think to Terrence's point, I think that this was a fantastic show. Guys, we have 2 minutes left. Any final thoughts on the show? Anything else you wanted to say?
I thought it was a good show.
Yep.
For the most part. I mean, a few spots here and there, but it wasn't a perfect show, but it was a good Monday night. Better than SmackDown's.
Yeah. Way more hits than misses on this episode. Especially lately with the way we've been critiquing some of these episodes, there actually felt like there was a little bit of direction to yesterday versus what we've seen lately. And hopefully they can continue that track record going forward. It's nice to see that there's a couple actual people we can believe winning in the Money at the Bank match now too.
Yeah, I agree. I think there were definitely some hits and misses on this show. The tag team division definitely, to both of your points, needs a lot of work. But the main event, I mean, to everyone's point, the main event alone was what was, worth watching this show for. So I think top marks all around. For Raw, it was definitely better than SmackDown. So yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining us for the Raw breakdown. And thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. This is, as I mentioned at the top of the show, this is episode 21. We're going to keep it going for 21 more. So we really appreciate all your support. As always, smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And have yourselves a great evening and take care.